We can now bring in Shirli Sitbon from our International Affairs Desk. Shirli, great to see you. Firstly, talk us through what exactly happened at this meeting with Antonio Guterres.
So Antonio Guterres met with more than 30 donors of UNRWA, including the major ones, explaining to them why they have to reverse their decisions. The one who decided to suspend the aid given to UNRWA for now. And he said, no, you cannot suspend it because the situation is too dramatic on the ground. You know that there are other humanitarian NGOs and organizations in the Gaza Strip, but not at all as well equipped and organized as UNRWA, which delivers aid, food, water. We've been seeing these images. Basically, they're necessary. No, the Gaza Strip would be even in a greater catastrophe had UNRWA not been there. And we can see some of the major donors just to understand why this is so catastrophic for the Palestinians. Because as you can see, the major donors are the ones who are suspending their aid, basically several European countries, the U.S., which gives up to $400 million per year. For the first time, they're all suspending it at the same time, at the worst possible time when there's actually a war. So humanitarian work is even more complicated. Other NGOs cannot take over. And the countries we do not see on this graphic, which are give far less, well, they refuse to give more. They say, yes, we'll keep on giving money, but we will not replace the United States. We're not going to go to that level. So basically, Antonio Guterres pleading for UNRWA and for, humanitarian aid. And, many ambassadors there, even the U.S. ambassador to the UN said, well, yes, aid is needed. But they also said that this will be restored just after there will be some necessary reform. And when asked what those reforms are, what this reform fundamental changes are, the ambassador said, well, there must be better screening of UNRWA employees in the Gaza Strip and across the board.
You spoke about other NGOs active in Gaza, including the Norwegian Refugee Council, and they have said that they cannot fill in the gap if UNRWA were to fall. But I want to talk about UNRWA because we had Israeli officials who have gone on and on criticizing this organization, but at the same time, they need it.
Yes. In front of the cameras, the Israelis point to all the problems they see in UNRWA. Now, the latest ones being several people, they say, allegedly involved in the attacks of October 7. 12 people, say the Israelis. And we can see actually some images from Congress yesterday where there was a hearing and the Israeli NGOs or pro-Israeli NGOs explained all the problems with UNRWA. Members of UNRWA who allegedly belong to Hamas and to the Islamic Jihad, they say the UN is waiting for the proof, the evidence. This is the hearing from yesterday with various NGOs or representatives. And, what they also say is that there's also this problem, long-term problem of UNRWA, which is, it manages all the Palestinian schools. And they say that textbooks are basically calling for the opposite of a two-state solution, saying there will never be a two-state solution. You have to fight to liberate Palestine. That's what the Israelis are saying. UNRWA has said it's tried to remove this type of material, but the Israelis are very critical. They have been for a long time, and so have been the donors, the Europeans and the Americans. But behind the cameras, away from the cameras, other Israeli officials, defense officials say, no, don't take UNRWA away from us because they need them to manage the situation. If people starve, if UNRWA disappears, well, Palestinians will be in a worse situation. They will starve. More people will get killed even more than today. And this means chaos. This is terrible for the interests of the U.S. and Israel. And also some Israeli defense officials saying anonymously, not doing this officially, saying that this will mean also that the Israelis will be under extra pressure and be forced to stop their current operations in Gaza without reaching their stated goals. So they say no. Keep UNRWA. We'll think about changing it later, but it needs to stay here because we will not be able to manage the Palestinian situation there, the humanitarian situation. And we can look at it, just to finish, an article published in Ynet, an Israeli newspaper, who interviewed a spokesperson of UNRWA, and he says, you want us to disappear from the Gaza Strip? Well, good luck, because it's going to be your responsibility. You're the occupier. We're doing the job now, but if we're gone because of you, well, you're going to have to do it anyway. You're the occupier. You have to provide for the people there. And the Israelis, of course, don't see how they can do that.
Well, Shirley, thank you very much for that. Shirli Sitbon there.